Hi, I'm Ted from Everything Attachments, and we're today with a new product. A lot of the customers on Tractor by Net have really been asking for a single lid grapple. We've always had our Wicked grapple with the 2 lids, and it's done amazingly well. We've lightened it up to make it where the smaller compact tractors, even any tractor, just simply gets more lifting capacity as you make it lighter but stronger. We've made a couple of changes on both of them. I'll go over everything with the single lid that we've changed that's different than the double lid, and try to give you, there are a lot of things that a single lid grapple works at least as good as a double lid, and it's definitely going to be cheaper. So we hope that this is what you're looking for. We've still left it to where we don't have big gussets on the front of our teeth here. A lot of the grapples start with a big Y piece here, and that is one good way of keeping it from being bent. The other way is these side plates and the metal that we're using. This is a grade 80 steel. It's super hard. That way we just put as little bend as we can so the compact tractors can actually rake through the ground, get the small roots out and things like that. So we've left all that the same. We've left the really sharp teeth on it where you can pull and keep your debris inside. Along with the single lid, we've changed the cylinder, which would have been 2 to 1, of course, and it's a 2.5-inch bore instead of a 2-inch bore, which is going to give you a considerable amount more of push with the same amount of pressure. We've also changed the geometry just a little bit to actually give it more down pressure because you're using one cylinder for about the same amount of actual front spacing, but just in one piece instead of 2. So with the bigger bore and the extra stroke on the cylinder, the other's a 4-inch stroke, this is a 5-inch stroke, we're able to raise the height, change the geometry a little bit, and give you the same amount of clamping force with one lid as 2 lids. We've also changed the opening on this is an extra 6 inches over the dual lid. And we're able to do that because of the extra stroke on the cylinder. So this grapple has also changed just a little bit. The metal that we were using for the Wicked grapple and just trying to keep the weight absolutely as low as we could had a 5/16 thickness on the main tine. But that particular thickness in a hard metal was hard to get all the time. So we would have to wait sometimes to get it. So what we did was, because we have to use what's called a P&O, which is oiled and pickled steel to be cut on a laser. So what we did was we went to our common thickness, which is 3/8. So it did add about 15 pounds back to the grapple, and we've still taken more than that out by making the holes in it. So the thickness has increased a little bit. The strength will be just a little bit more. We haven't really bent one yet, but things have changed just a little bit there, just so you know. On the single lid, it's got one pin that goes through the whole piece here, giving you a super rigid lid here. It's greasable on both sides. It's also greasable in each end of the cylinder here. The 2 hoses are really simple to run out. If you've got a tractor that doesn't have your hookup directly behind the cylinder like most would with your hydraulic kit, if you've got a Kubota factory mount and it's way up on the arm, we need to know that so we can make you the proper length hoses before you order it. I have these hooked together simply so I can lift the lid. With these unhooked, I couldn't lift the lid, and that's not a bad way of storing them with the couplers hooked together. Because this grapple, it'll come in 54, 60, 66, and 72. It shouldn't be on a super small tractor, and every tractor that this goes on should have a standard universal quick attach that is available for that tractor. So that's the only way we're going to build it, except for the John Deere hitch, which would have the 2 hooks at the top and the pins at the bottom. So we're going to build it standard universal and John Deere. We've raised the height of this a little bit. That's what helps get our geometry right to give you the extra pressure. Standard universal hookup. Then we've increased the thickness a little bit since we're going to have more pressure on one cylinder. We've increased the thicknesses here a little bit. put the braces on it. We've added another gusset here to keep this good and strong and rigid. And everything else about it is pretty much like our Wicked Root Grapple always was. This is just a single lid. It'll save you some money. And then for a lot of what most people do, a single lid works great. It's what everybody's been asking for. And so this is the 66-inch. And the only difference between the couple of the models is the width of the lid. The 54 and 60 use one width of lid, and the 66 and 72 use another width of lid. But basically, they look the same. We hope that you'll make all your purchases and everything attachments. If you've got any problems on how you're going to hook up your hydraulics, we're ready to help you with that. And we'll help you with anything you need. Just give us a call or an email.